And we are live. Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement, a special live edition of My Mom's Basement, recapping Loki Season 2, Episode 2. It is Robbie Fox and my co-host Clem. Gia will be back in the basement hopefully next week for our Loki recaps. I think she's watching the Phillies right now. This was kind of a last-minute thing thrown together. I got to fly to Tennessee tomorrow. Schedules are crazy, so he said, fuck it. We'll do it live. Clem, how we doing?
We're doing good, Bob. Guys, you guys were looking to try something out, grow the channel? No, we just really weren't going to have time to record any other time. But we got to get Loki out to the people because it's one of the shows that I don't think Marvel has to make many changes to. I think we got the message came out yesterday, or the story, that they're basically looking to reboot the entire fucking process. I'm starting to think Kevin Feige might not have had a whiteboard in his room, or the whiteboard ran out of room and they just started winging it based on the way a lot of the shows went. But this show, I feel like we're in a good place right now. So I'm very happy about all this.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Devlin about that today. He's like, do you think the reason Kevin Feige's so hesitant to show you guys the whiteboard is because he erased it after Endgame and they haven't written anything since? Because the story that came out this week, they're like, listen, we're going to be revamping the Marvel TV division. We're going to be giving people showrunners, and the showrunners will actually have to do with the show and the writing of the show. What? Like, hey, we're going to be giving you guys cameras from here on out. Like, well, we're like, what are you talking about? These are the basics that every show should have had. They also said that they're going to be focused more on multiple season series than just like a limited series here or limited series there, which I think is great. It's hard to get invested in, you know, if we just know we're going to get a 6-episode series of this character and maybe find he or her again in a show 5 years from now.
Listen, Marvel, don't you go around showing up and just making shows and doing stuff without any preparation and just not really having a plan. That's our thing. That's Barstool's thing. Don't you dare try to take that, Disney. You guys have all the money and time in the world. You guys just can't be copying our style where we kind of just let it fly and be like, it's more organic that way, just shooting off the cuff. So that's our thing. You're copying off of Stan Lee and all those other people's work. You guys can't do that too. You can't be us. So get the fuck out of here.
By the way, speaking of preparation, I had a little 10-minute preparation, and I said, wait a minute, I still got my Loki costume, so check this out. If you're on the YouTube.
Oh, yep, there it is. The variant, Robbie's old costume. Lady Fox was Sylvie last year. A+++ costume. You guys honestly looked so much like the Loki and Sylvie. I'm like, am I talking to the god and goddess of mystery right now? It's kind of creepy. Yeah, so everyone's watching on YouTube, you can see. And for people that didn't catch it last week, we mentioned at the end of the episode, if we get to 50,000 subscribers on this YouTube, smash that subscribe button. If we get to 50,000 subscribers on the YouTube, we are going to pull a Sylvie. We're not going to murder a person and throw every time branch into disarray. We are going to try everything at McDonald's. Every single thing. I'm talking foods. I'm talking sides. I'm talking sauces. I'm talking drinks. I am talking and forgot, honestly, all about it. Breakfast, which is like a whole other fucking menu. But if we had done this all without the breakfast, we're going to have to show up at, I don't even know if it's 10:30 or 11, what time they switch, but we're going to have to show up at like 10:59, get the breakfast, and then order the lunch. And we are going to have a giant table full of McDonald's to eat, drink, and be merry about once we get to 50K, if we get to 50K. So help us help ourselves and put ourselves in the hospital.
We're going to spend all day at McDonald's. We're going to spend all of our money at McDonald's. But you know what? It's going to be worth it if we can get to 50K. So make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit the like button. And hey, if you're in the chat right now, we don't do this very often, a live show. We did it for House of the Dragon. We did it for The Last of Us finale. You could ask questions throughout the show, and we'll interact with the chat. We'll try to answer questions. And hell, we'll probably ask you guys questions. Maybe you could give us some answers on this show. Now, talking Loki Season 2, Episode 2, literally just premiered. Instant reaction thoughts. I loved it. I don't know if I loved it as much as Episode 1, but that was a very high bar for me. This was in the same tone, though. I felt like it was the same quality. The direction was so good. The way the chase scenes were shot on foot reminded me of like the Casino Royale opening, which is such an awesome parkour chase sequence and whatnot. And all the comedy landed. The comedy of Brad and Mobius and the McDonald's for me, I loved. And again, I think the way that they're handling the tension of Kang in this series is better than we've gotten in the entire universe so far.
Yep, I'm with you. We got a Loki that I'm excited to see. We'll see if how much of that was just an act and how much we may be getting some of the old Loki back. Kind of like the little pangs I think pangs is the word for it. The pangs I got from that. I think last episode had a lot more ups and downs, just craziness. What the fuck's going on? Drama. This one was kind of a slower pace, but we got there, and I do think we probably remember this episode in like 3 episodes. It'll kind of all just mix together. But I think it was an important one to get from point B to C, basically.
Yeah. So let's get into it. We have a lot to get into in this episode. We kick things off in London, 1977. And you know me, I was expecting a Star Wars reference or joke at some point. We didn't seem to get that. Maybe it was before Star Wars came out in 1977. But they get a hit on a temp pad from Hunter X5, who we were saying last week. We were like, man, all these names, it's hard to remember. X5, B15, this, that, the next thing. Just give them names. I don't know if they were listening and made changes on the fly or if they just had this prepared. Nah, let's be honest. It's the Loki team, so they had everything prepared. They gave him a name. This week, we learned that his real name is Brad Wolfe, and he is a movie star, apparently, in this branched timeline or whatever timeline that he's in. He's in this movie called The Zaniac. He's arriving at the premiere of it. He's got hair that I don't know if you're going to be on the same page with me. Throughout this episode, I was like, this guy kind of looks like KFC, like a handsome version of KFC.
Oh!
But I was like, this guy's straight up KFC.
If he wasn't a troll like KFC, apparently in your eyes, Bob hitting him with the handsome version. Hey, I'm happy you said it, not me. Now
KFC's been posting on his Instagram. He's got the suction cup on the forehead. He's got the ball in his eye. The guy's falling apart.
Yeah, I haven't even been in the office. I don't know what's happened in Surviving Barstool. I imagine no one looks good after a few days of Surviving Barstool as well. Our boy KFC taking a serious shot right there. He's been a supporter of the Baser from day one. We got Nikki Hamilton in the chat. Shout out Nikki Hamilton. Shout out KFC. Shout out everyone in the chat. When you said 1977 London, I thought we were going to get some sort of a punk rock, the Sex Pistols or something like that.
We kind of did. There were some punk rockers later in the episode.
Yes. And by the way, quick tangent that I just had to talk about. Sienna has been watching The Simpsons. She just bounces around random seasons an episode. There's an episode where it's basically a Sex Pistols like documentary where Nelson is Johnny Rotten. Am I saying is it Johnny?
Yeah.
Sid Vicious. And
Johnny Rotten's another punk rocker.
Okay. And they're basically Lisa becomes his girlfriend, and they're doing all kinds of drugs, except they're not doing the drugs. Like he takes out a razor and chops up a bunch of like brown powder. They put it in a milk and they make chocolate milk, and then they light a spoon with chocolate and then do something with the spoon. I'm like, I can't believe I'm saying this. I sound like parents from the 90s. I was like, I don't think you can watch The Simpsons, the newer seasons, because fake drugs. I think I had to draw my line there. So I apologize for the tangent. The people in the chat feel trapped, but that was just fucking wild. I thought we were going to get maybe a little edginess of the London scene. However, I did my research because I knew I couldn't do it, a full day. We would watch our heavy spoilers, read all our different things, all the theories and stuff like that. I did a little research for the gang here. Zaniac, that's the movie that our boy Brad Wolfe is in. Zaniac is an entity that would be, he is a swarm of demonic parasitic creatures that originated in the dark dimension. They're from Earth 616. They are an actual thing. Our boy Brad Wolfe, let's be honest, I didn't know who the fuck this was at first. I thought it was Mark Paul Gosselaar when they first showed him, and it was very dark around his face. I go, shit, is Zach Morris in the Marvel Universe now? I got really excited. Brad Wolfe, however, same guy from the previous episode, just looks a little different. Brad Wolfe becomes Zaniac at some point in the comic books. I think he's acting. There's a little bit of radiation from the Manhattan Project, which we learned in Oppenheimer, takes place in Chicago. One of the things that they're doing, one of the places they were doing a lot of the research, he becomes Zaniac. So I hope I didn't just spoil that if that actually happens, but I'm just letting everyone know that is on the table right now.
Wow, look at Clem right now, coming with the facts, coming with the research. Call this guy the new Heavy Spoilers, who, by the way, we're such a big fan of, and we've been a fan of his channel for years now. I would love to get him on the show at some point during this Loki season. It's a little bucket list thing of mine, or at least before the end of the year. I know, the time zones with us and him might make the scheduling difficult, but I think we would make a great trio on this podcast.
That we can't even ask him until we hit 50,000 though. Like he's gonna look at the numbers, see a 4 in the front, be like, fucking wankers or something. He's British, so he probably calls us wankers.
You guys got to get us up.
Do you think he calls us cunts? I feel like he might call us cunts if we.
Yeah, but in a lovingly way,
In a loving way, of course.
Yeah, like Ed Sheeran and Caleb were talking about it. Like Ed Sheeran's like, I come over to America, I say it, and the room stops. Like, nah, it's like a loving, a term of affection over there. So I'm with it. I'm okay with it.
Speaking of Brad, and I saw here Mad Dog Muskie just said in the chat, the name of the episode being Breaking Brad. I saw it when I clicked it. I was like, yes, let's fucking go. Anything Breaking Bad related gives me kind of the butterflies in my stomach. I was thinking about this yesterday. I think I have it number 2 in my all-time, Mount Rushmore, Hall of Fame, whatever you want to say. I have Wire 1, Breaking Bad 2, Game of Thrones 3, Sopranos 4. Game of Thrones could have been 2, maybe even jump the wire until that final season, and they kind of dropped the ball at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, Breaking Bad is my all-time, but I've never watched The Wire. I'm making my way through Sopranos now. I could see something jumping it one day, but right now Breaking Bad's the only show like that, like extended drama series, that I've gone back and watched like 4 or 5 times. Mm-hmm. I absolutely love it. There's so many great episodes and moments in it too, memes from it. So Mobius and Loki confront Brad in the actual theater, and he's like, oh, let's get us drinks, let's have some whiskeys. He makes a run for it, and they kind of suspected that, so they had B-15 in the alley. She goes after him, and then Loki realizes, hey, we're not in the TVA anymore. I could start using my magic. So he hits him with a little mischief, and then there's a big chase sequence. Like I said, it's kind of the Casino Royale. It's all on feet. Loki's still wearing his premier gear. Very cool, and God, this must have been a son of a bitch to film if they had to do multiple takes, because they ran for a while. It was almost Tom Cruise Mission Impossible level running sequence there, but it was great. And this is where he gets confronted by some London punks, and Loki turns into a couple of them. He does a bit of a Doctor Strange. I'm here, I'm over there. Now I'm here, I'm over there. And he grabs Brad with shadows of himself. He's got the big Loki helmet on in the shadows. Just such a cool sequence, very comic booky. And that hits us with our title sequence.
I loved getting that Loki magic back. I forgot he could even do it, right? And I think going into season 1 of Loki, we're like, oh, what kind of magic is this crazy little god of mischief going to pull? And then they nerfed him instantly when he got into the like, that doesn't work here. These fucking Infinity Stones don't even work here, dude. So your magic sure as shit ain't going to work here. So it was kind of nice not only having the magic back, but now we have Loki on our side, or we're kind of rooting for him. And I compared it. It's like using a boss of a video game, and you're able to use him to like be a good guy. It's kind of like a very dated reference, but the first time in Street Fighter 2, you were able to be all the bosses, M. Bison and Sagat and all that stuff, Vega and Balrog. And it's just like, oh yeah, I can fucking do some shit that I was not able to do. So I really did. It was nice just getting Loki back, getting that whole like, oh fuck, you guys are in trouble now. We have a, what do they say? We have a Hulk. We have a God. We have a God on our side.
Speaking of just seeing Loki, they played the hero-villain dynamic a lot in this episode. Is he a villain? Is he a hero? I went on Lights Camera Barstool this week, and we talked about it with Robbie Gooch and Ken Jack. Gooch was like, I would actually like to see Loki become the leader of the Avengers. And we started talking through it. Him knowing the most about the Kangs and the multiversal time travel and all of that, knowing the TVA information, and also flipping that dynamic of he was the villain in the first Avengers movie. What if he led the Avengers to battle in Secret War? That like gave me chills to think about him and Thor together as brothers, like leading the Avengers to battle. I was like, I think I'm down for that. I think I'm down for Loki becoming the leader of the Avengers.
I could see that too. I could, because you have to also think like it's slim pickings right now in terms of heroes, because I think Black Panther was going to be obviously a big role until the actor goddamn died, which is so fucked. And I could see either Thor and Loki leading them in, or if they're like, if the Hemsworth train finally runs out, they kill Thor or do something with Thor, make him, banish him or make him think he's dead. And Loki's like, I'm going to kind of carry the mantle for my brother here. That would be cool. And it would be funny if someone who was in the battle in New York, like showed up there and be like, why the fuck is that guy leading us? That guy was the one who was trying to kill us.
Now let's take a quick break to talk about one of our sponsors, HelloFresh. Crazy schedule can make it easy to fall back into your dinner time recipe rut. Keep mealtime exciting with over 40 recipes to choose from each week. There's always something delicious to discover with HelloFresh. And with so many in-season ingredients, you'll taste all of the freshness of fall in every bite of HelloFresh's chef-crafted recipes. I love that they do the seasonal stuff. I love having a fall meal in the fall. I love having a nice soup in the winter, something like that, something that makes you feel warm and cozy, kind of like the aesthetic of the TVA makes me feel. And HelloFresh does it all. Even through the fall can feel jam-packed. HelloFresh makes whipping up a home-cooked dinner actually doable with quick and easy options, including their 15-minute meals. Those are really perfect for me. If I'm making a meal, 15 minutes, that's like nothing. I could watch a YouTube video while I'm making the meal and get it done quick. It's less time than it takes to get delivery. And they've also got something new, the mini pumpkin cheesecake. Perfect for a little me time treat. So, I mean, what are you waiting for? Go to HelloFresh.com/50Fox. That's 50FOX. And use that same promo code 50Fox for 50% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh, best in the biz. They're America's #1 meal kit for a reason, everyone. So go over there, get yourself a great deal.
#1 meal kit. And to all my fellow parents out there, we're all in the thick of things. We have sports, we have after school activities, dances back in our lives, just nonstop stuff. 15-minute meals, don't have to, measure everything, get everything from the store. It's there just waiting for you. Just write Tuesday on the bag and be like, there we have Tuesday's meal ready to go, ready to roll, ready to roll, ready to roll. Keep finding all asses.
Great question from Nick Hammy in the chat. Can OB make it so Loki can use magic in there in the TVA? Need some more magic. I loved seeing the magic too. I love the way that they handle the different kinds of magic in the Marvel universe. Loki having his green stuff, Scarlet Witch having her red stuff, Doctor Strange having his weird Inception level stuff. I think OB is going to be the key to a lot of this, because I don't think his memory was wiped, as we kind of discussed last week, him remembering Mobius visiting him 400 years ago, saying, how's the team doing up there? Is he thinking the team of Kangs is still up there? I think OB could possibly make it so Loki could use magic in there. If they put, the collar on him, but maybe make it inverted collar, like in SpongeBob when they change it to Wumbo, maybe something like that can happen. I don't know. I would love to see it, though.
I would love to see it as well. I also will love to hear you say OB like that every single time. Do not change it. It's kind of like when you say,
did I say OB weird?
You say OB. You kind of say like Foo Fighters. Oh, Foo Fighters. And you're like ramping it up, and I love it. I don't want you to change it at all. So just say it exactly how it is. Don't be cognizant of anything else. It's perfect the way it is. I want to be able to do OB's voice and like his inflection. I don't know if that's going to be considered like problematic though. If I do,
it might be.
It might be.
Might be. But he's the best. He's like absolutely amazing in this show. The fact that they thought, hey, he's like the most likable guy in the world. Why don't we just have him play a character very similar to himself in this show? And he's like I said, maybe the answer to it all. He's just the guy in the basement. He's the friggin' stabler down there in Office Space. Like, I love every scene, every second he's on screen. He is the best line of the episode, the one that made me laugh the most, when he's like, he runs up, we're skipping ahead a bit, but he runs up and he's like, we're all going to die. Oh, nice to meet you. Like, what's your name? It's so funny.
It's perfect. He's like a robot, though, in that sense. It's like death equals yes. Oh, hi. Never met this person before. Let me introduce myself. It's just the way he's like, oh, I could do that with the magic, and that kind of like carefree delivery. I'm trying to think of my Wilsons here. Owen Wilson, yes, that's the one that's in this. They both have that kind of like carefree tone. If they go back and forth with each other doing that in one of these episodes, it's going to be incredible, because they both kind of they can both reach that range. So that's a good question to Cammy. I'm hoping it happens. I'm hoping it's like, oh fuck, we're about to die, Kang's coming, blah blah blah, and then snap of the fingers just hits the, it's kind of like in Madden, turn injuries off, turn magic on, boom, start lighting motherfuckers up, Loki.
Now, I don't want to bring the mood down, Clem. I'm having a good time on this recap. I'm having a really good time. I'm laughing. This is fun. But we just got a comment from Boston Sal in the chat. that unfortunately I sort of agree with, and I have to bring up. He said, I have a bad feeling about OB. And the comparison I'm going to make is going to upset you a little bit. But I think there's a chance OB will be the bing bong of this season. And he will pull something in the temporal loom room to make sure everyone else can survive but him. I thought about that during this episode, and it terrified me. I didn't even really want to talk about it on this podcast, but I felt like I'd be depriving the listeners of my real takes if I didn't. And Boston Sal brought it up, so I had to bring it up.
God damn it, Boston Sal. Why did you have to bring it up? Because it does check out. It feels like this will be the moment Kang really makes us hate him. I said it last episode. Don't you harm a hair on his head if he chops his head off with his Kang sword or whatever the fuck. I don't know. Does Kang have a staff? I don't even know what he has. Or he has a Kang Fu, so he can kick him, maybe kick his head off. It's gonna hurt no matter what. And like it's gonna have OB's gonna say something like in the manual. It says I have to, help everyone out. And he's such a fucking robot. He's going to do it. I'm like, I am Walter White in the car screaming, no, Obi, no. I'm in the Chevy Tahoe just screaming my brains out, telling him not to save the world and sacrifice himself. That hurts.
It'd be a gut punch, like if they want to really hit us with a gut punch, that would be it.
Well, and that's the other thing too. Did you have to use Bing Bong? Did you have to bring him?
It's what I thought of, though. Bob? It's what I thought of. He OB might fade away. He'll be lost to time, like Bing Bong. Like I don't know.
Oh, he's gonna get lost to time too. He's just gonna disappear, and I don't need to hear. Bob, we usually record this during the day. I have usually another 8 hours worth of stuff to get me through the day, and by the time I go to sleep, I forget about it. I'm gonna have nightmares about Bing Bong dying tonight, and so are
the last thing you think about, before you fall asleep. It's tough.
Yeah. Before I die, you know what? God, just take me tonight as I'm dreaming about Bing Bong.
No, don't take
Bing Bong all dead because of
Bob. No. Let's keep going so you can forget about this. And X5 is put into a cell. I love the aesthetic of the cells in the TVA, the all orange room, very cool looking. And Loki and Mobius go down to OB at this point. The loom is in rough shape. He's working on it. They give him X5's temp pad, and they're like, there's something weird about this. He made the buttons all colorful. He modified it. He's saying he can't be tracked. He's like, no, he can track. You can track this or whatever, but here's the instruction manual. I'm working on more important shit. And this manual, you brought it up, like he might bring it up in the end. Everything was written in it all along. They're really reminding us a lot that OB wrote the manual, and there's a lot of important information in there. So I think it will play a big role at some point. And B15 asked Casey about Ravona's temp pad. Casey says she erased all the data, but he's got the last message, and it's from Miss Minutes. They go over and tell Loki and Mobius about this. And I loved the visual of Loki and Mobius trying to fix the temp pad at his desk. It looked like two idiots trying to build a Lego set or something. They're yelling at each other. They've got their jackets off. They're kind of disheveled. It's the perfect little microcosm of their relationship. Did I use that right? Microcosm?
Yes, you did. Good word. Robbie's vocab word of the week. Pass. Success. That was a good one. We did good this week, Bob.
I really do throw those words out there, and I'm like, this might be right. It might be wrong, but it sounds nice.
I used the word predecessor in a blog last week, and I wrote in the blog, I said, I guarantee I'm the first blogger to ever use the word predecessor. And then I wrote it 5 more times. I'm just going to get my money worth. Predecessor. So it feels good to show off those brain muscles at Barstool here. I mean, we're not the top of the chain. We're not Harvard grads. But let's be honest, we're not the bottom of the chain either. We won't name names, but I think some people can figure out who those people may be. You're going to probably say Kevin. I think Kevin's very smart, actually. So I'm going to put him in that list. But yeah, the whole what's it called? The room was very cool.
The interrogation room.
Yeah, and the thing I thought of when they were yelling at each other, and what was the word you just used there perfectly? The microcosm of their relationship. That reminds me of when you're building furniture with either a roommate or a significant other, and you're just like, where's the screw? Or can you help me over here? And tensions can run hot. It's like the fucking directions they can make sense in black and white, but it's like no one thinks like that. You guys have to do it wrong. Or if it's just you're looking at it from the wrong angle and the entire thing's done backwards. I've reached a point in life. I was like, you know what? We both have work jobs for a long time. We've both moved up a little in our lives. and we just have kids. We don't have any free time. I paid someone to build AJ's bed. I couldn't, and it was the smartest move I ever made. Best couple of $100 I ever spent in my life. And I saw someone the other day, I think Big Cat was doing something with his kid's bed, and someone was like, if you ever paid someone to do your kid's bed, you're a cuck or whatever the hell people are saying. I'm like, brother, my kid would have in the middle of the night just crashed in his bed because I am not a man enough
like
to build
Step Brothers when they build their bunk beds.
Exactly. I would end up building AJ's bed. I'm like, my wife would be like, how come we have like 150 screws and like 7 wooden posts left over? Oh, those are just extra in case we need them. Don't worry, hon. This super glue will hold his stuff upright. So fuck building shit yourselves. And like they're kind of just like up the creek, man. You feel bad for them because it's like trying to figure that shit out. Looking at a manual that I love my guy OB, that shit wasn't written very clearly. It was written like it was written by a robot.
Hundreds of years ago too, so it's probably written in like weird vocabulary and stuff. So
it's in Latin, probably.
Yeah, like it might not even be in English. Like OB's never opening it and being like, "Look, it's right here." He's always just like, "Read the book," and he throws it at him. So Loki and Mobius bring the temp pad to Casey, and he tells him, "Yeah, this doesn't block tracking at all. Like I'll look at it for a little bit and I'll try to fix it." Loki, Mobius, and B-15 then I'll go down to interrogate Brad. And Brad drives a dagger into Loki. He's really like locked and loaded with some fucking chirps. That's what he was thinking about in his cell when they put him in there. He brings up his mom. He goes to the mom. He's like, you've done so much destruction in your past. You're just trying to act like a hero now to make up for all the people you've killed in your past. And by the way, you can't save anyone, not even your mother, something like that. He says, stop trying to be the hero. You're a villain. I feel like this is almost the overarching theme of the whole show. Loki still, I think internally probably fights that, where he's like, I've been the villain my whole life. I do have to do something good. I do have to make some good. Going back to the first episode when he goes and watches what his life would have been if it continued, and he sees him get choked out by fucking Thanos in Infinity War. So I thought that was really well handled. And then Loki tries to scare him, and he goes back at him and he's like, yeah, I am the villain. I am a fucking crazy man. They can't hold me back. Doesn't work though. Brad just continues going off. Then he starts going off on Mobius and he's like, you're a fucking fraud. I don't know what you're still doing here. This is fake. Everything about this is fake. B-15 is fake. Go back to your real life. We all found out that this is a front. So why don't we all just go back to our real life? And honestly, he was making a little bit of sense. It was like, he's got a point. He's got a point with, and you see it in B-15's face and Loki's face. They're kind of like, it's worst person makes a decent point, the Onion article. And Mobius fucking hits him, and then they have to leave because it's like he can't be. It's just like you're a cop hitting someone or something, and they go get a slice of key lime pie to cool down.
Yeah. First of all, the name Brad. I think Brad and Chad's. Those are two like. It
was perfect for him.
He was a B-Rad. He was definitely a B-Rad.
Yeah.
Silly little man. Like when he calls him. Oh yeah. Man. What a great line.
That's a really good line.
The word silly is not used nearly enough. I'm going to put silly back in the lexicon. Silly and jerk. Jerk is a really good one as well.
Oh, that is. You're a real jerk. Like kids would use that and it would hurt you. If you saw a kid call another kid a jerk in class, you'd be like, they might be meeting at the top of the hill after school and fighting. Yeah.
That is basically like the hardest street legal word you're allowed to say to somebody back in the day.
Yes.
You throw around a curse word, you're going to get in trouble for it. You throw the J word around though, you can make it all right, and you're going to.
And then kids get a little older and they throw the off at the end, and they're like, "You're a real jerk off," and that's like you said the C word back then. Yeah, like, I don't think you're allowed to even say that out loud, dude.
Yeah, that's a sex thing. What are you talking about right there? Right? That's why I always like jag off, because it's kind of like you're not saying jerk off and you just call them jag off. It kind of smooths it out, but it's still just an absolute dagger to the soul. So we're gonna get those all back into the lexicon as well. But when you talk about Rene Russo like that, I don't like it in general. You talk about Rene Russo playing Frigga and such a nice, cool mom too. Like she's kind, but she's so goddamn cool. That later on when I thought he was gonna murder the guy. I was like, you did this to yourself, dude. You fucking buried yourself. Now I have to ask this. And listen, I'm a big sweets guy. No way to hide it. No way to hide it in the cheeks, and no way you obviously have the food review thing. I've never had key lime pie before.
I'm not a pie guy.
Ooh, we're learning about Bob here.
There's
Learning about
something
pie.
about the like mushy consistency that I'm not into.
So I was not a pie guy for a while. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to turn myself into a pie guy. A healthy thing for someone to do in their 30s. Let's start getting into pie. Like we've already done enough damage to ourselves without pie. Let's have some pie. You just have to have a good crust that is a little more solid, because I'm the same as you. The whole mushiness, you got to find yourself the right pie. The thing about key lime pie is I'm like, there's no way I am going to like this, but it's such a fucking staple in the pie game. I feel
It
like
looks so good too. Like
it,
the aesthetic of a key lime pie, that green color, it looks awesome.
yes. And like, what is it about the key? If it's lime pie,
Yeah.
why is it in Key West? Is that where the limes
What's
are
the
picked?
key? Yeah, where did that come from?
Where is the key in key lime pie?
The key just hitching a ride onto the lime pie.
Exactly. It's taking you for a ride. And there's nothing here that, like, it's made of lime juice, egg yolks, and sweetened condensed milk. There's nothing there that says key. So I have no idea what's going on with the key lime pie.
I think we just uncovered a new like conspiracy or something. Like nobody's ever thought about that. Where'd the key come from?
Yeah, they've just been eating their pie and not asking questions about it. They want to
Yeah.
keep their pie and eat it too. But we're
Now I say I'm not a pie guy, but I do like a chicken pot pie or like a Thanksgiving leftover pie, like that kind of pie. But that's like, I don't know, you're just putting other food inside of the crust. I guess that's what a pie is, though.
Yes, it is, Robbie. So you know
But
what?
like key lime pie and cherry pie and apple pie, I'm out on all that shit.
So this is the thing. Fruit pies are weird. I'm not an apple pie guy, but I enjoy a cherry pie. You got to try yourself a pecan pie. That's what I think. That's kind of your gateway pie. That's a
All
gateway pie. It has some Are you kiwi pecans? No problem with nuts, or are you not a nut guy?
I like nuts. I'm not a huge pecan guy. Like pecans and walnuts, I feel like have a little less flavor than your average almond or peanut.
This is the thing. You're going to learn to love the crust. That's going to be money. But then the pecan pie, you get a whole bunch of sugar. I don't know if there's molasses in it. It is just sweet and it is good. So next time I'm going to go to Stu Leonard's. They got great pies there. I'm going to get you it's a little half a pie too. We're not going to get a full pie. And we're just going to try it out, see what Bob likes here. Anyone that likes, anyone in the chat, give us your favorite pies. Or Sam Lauderdale, pecan pie might as well be a brownie, elite dessert. We're talking lots of sugar there, lots of different baked goods, lots of stuff going through your mouth. And I am going to try a key lime pie. Next time I see it on the menu, I'm going to buy a little slice of key lime pie. I'm kind of excited about it now, too. I'll be honest.
Yeah, you'll have to tweet a review for the basement boys and girls out there.
Yes, I will. So that's excited. We have the entire McDonald's menu to try and a slice of key lime pie to wrap it
Yeah,
all
this
up.
podcast is going in an unhealthy direction.
Yes,
We're going to get like a call from the U.S. Food and Health Administration or something. They're going to be like, shut it down.
Yep. I am just going to be eating the foods that sponsor this podcast once I'm done with all this pie and McDonald's nonsense.
And we're going to go get a pie, and then we're going to go to an event thanks to Game Time. Game Time's got the cheapest seats in the business, last-minute seats as well. So you could literally find out about a concert or even a game that night, and you could make a last-minute decision. You could say, yeah, you want to go to the game? Why not? Go on Game Time, their app or their website, scroll down the list, and you will be shocked at the seats that you can afford. You never thought you could afford. I never thought I could afford the seats that I've gotten through Game Time. Concerts, playoff games. Obviously, the MLB playoffs are going on right now. So many crowds look friggin' electric. If my team was still in it, the Yankees, they friggin' stink this year. I would want to be there. Obviously, you've got
that jerk Gia. She has the Phillies in here right now.
I know she's got the Philly. What's the score of the game right now?
So
we're recording.
Yeah, we're recording live right now. They're just strolling around the field. I'm rooting for the Phillies, by the way. Gia's only a jerk if they beat the Braves. Which if they beat the Braves, I'll be very happy. They still have not shown the score. It was 3-1
for the Diamondbacks because Jimmy Eat World likes them, and I like Jimmy Eat World.
Jimmy Eat World and John Rich randomly became a Diamondbacks before the playoffs began. So I like John Rich a lot too. So I'll be rooting for him. And I hate the Braves. The Braves are definitely my least favorite. They have still not shown the score since I brought this up during the Game Time match. So I apologize to the people listening, the people watching, and the people at Game Time all at once. Trey Turner's on first. It is 3-1, bottom of the seventh. So
Phillies winning.
A good time. Yep.
Gotcha. All right. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code MMB for My Mom's Basement for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code MMB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. They really are such a great app. So easy to use. You don't have to print out your tickets, get them right on your phone, send them to your friends. It's great.
The absolute best. Robbie goes to the Tennessee Volunteers game, getting his Game Time app. Everyone's going to be happy. And a little fun fact for you, Bob, here, I figured it out. The dish key lime pie is named after the small key limes, which are more aromatic than the common Persian limes, and which have yellow juice. The filling in a key lime pie is typically yellow because of the egg yolks. And they also say key lime pie is probably derived from the quote-unquote magic lemon cream pie that was published in a promotional brochure by Borden, a condensed milk company that is a key ingredient in the key lime pie. Little fun facts for everyone out there.
Bring that up at the water cooler at work on tomorrow if you're listening live, Monday if you're listening on the podcast feed.
There we go.
By the way, if you're listening on the podcast feed, we haven't said this for a while, but reviews on that also help, apparently. On iTunes, Spotify, wherever you're listening, if you just leave us a 5-star, I believe that helps. I'm not going to beg for that, though. Do what you got to do.
We're begging for the subscriptions and thumbs up on YouTube.
Yeah. So Loki tells Mobius over this key lime pie about the first Avengers movie, which, as we mentioned last week, is also pretty recent for him. When he's talking about taking over New York, it's not that long ago in his actual lifetime. And he says everyone loses their cool sometimes. He's like, it's fine. I killed a bunch of people with an alien army. I got pissed off too. And he wonders if Mobius is ever curious about his life. He's like, for real though, you never want to fucking go back and see it? Mobius is like, no, I like my life here at the TVA. That wasn't my real life. This is my real life. And I'm content with it, which you could respect, but he also wants that jet ski, right? Like, he needs the jet ski.
So that was my one note from the scene. He clearly had a jet ski in his real life. And yeah. I don't know if he was a legit like a professional jet skier or just a amateur jet skier like Kenny Powers, who would just get out there to let, crush some waves whenever he had to like unwind a little bit. I hope he was a big time jet skier though.
By the way, Matthew Amos in the chat just gave us our hashtag for the episode. Hashtag Clem Lime Pie.
Yes,
I like that.
I like that.
I like that a lot. That's a good one. And then first, Mobius believes X5 found Sylvie, says, but he didn't turn her in because he just wanted to live out his life. So then he needs to figure out how to get that info out of him. Then we get to OB going into the temporal loom room. Something we didn't bring up last week that we got in the comments and some people tweeted at me. Did you notice the door to the temporal loom room looked a lot like the door to the X-Men training room? It had the X over it. It kind of had the same circular design. Some people thought it was an Easter egg. Some people thought it was coincidence. I really don't know what to believe, but my little Tony Hawk grind meter is going towards coincidence.
I like the grind meter to figure it all out. Yeah, I saw the Cerebro stuff and whatever. I didn't get too deep into it, but I did see a couple notes about that. Fuck it. Like, I'll believe anything. You tell me X-Men is coming, or you're just going to have to give me breadcrumbs until these contracts are up and we can start filming this goddamn project. Let's rock and roll with it.
X-Men is coming, though. We did see that report. When the writer's strike ended, it kind of got put out there. I think it might have been our guy Kroll who said, hey, X-Men is going forward, and I think they want to start production 2024 next year, which we probably won't get the fucking show until 2027 based on the Ironheart rumors and whatnot. But again, I'm with you. You tell me we're getting X-Men, I've got a lot of faith in it, especially after seeing Wolverine's suit in the new Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
Oh, they're giving us comic X-Men. It's going to be awesome. Comment from Quinn Johnson. He said, Sylvie is so good. I agree. Great actress, great character. The fact that she's able to pull off Loki, she's playing Loki, but a different version of him, a variant that feels like the aura of mischief is there, but it's not completely him. Awesome character. So OB gets access denied, invalid temporal aura, which we find out later. He's like, yeah, it's Kang's aura. We need basically count. We need his password or Miss Minutes to override it. So things are not looking good in that room. Loki goes back into Brad's cell. Mobius wheels in this weird device. It looks like a friggin' vacuum cleaner or floor cleaner or something, or cappuccino machine. It looks almost analog, ancient. And Loki locks him out. And he has the controller. He thought he didn't have the controller. He's like, let's go look for it. Locks Mobius out. Mobius is pounding on the window. Loki's hitting random buttons, locks him in the little TVA prison thing, makes it look like he's in the Amber, Jurassic Park style, makes it a little short, and he finally gets the info out of him. He makes it smaller and smaller until Brad confesses. I couldn't believe I could believe, but I couldn't believe in the end when Mobius comes in and he was acting all along. It was all his plan. Like, it went through my mind when they're doing that. Like, maybe he is acting from outside the window. But when he's like, see, went right to plan. I was like, these motherfuckers even got me.
They got you. I was trying to think if this was a Loki plan from the jump or if Mobius was involved. I didn't think Mobius was. That Owen Wilson sure can act pretty decent, huh? It was
Fucking
pretty
guy
well
can
done.
act. He can act his ass off.
I had you said the Amber from Jurassic Park, which is a good call. I had Dwight Stapler in the Jello in the episode of The Office. That's the vibes I was getting from that.
I like that. Then we get the scene where I referenced before. Obi runs up to Casey and B-15. He's like, we're all going to die. And then he meets Casey, and Casey's a fan. He's like, wait a minute. You're Ouroboros, who wrote the fucking manual? Can you sign my manual? B-15's like, he just told us we're all going to die. Like, don't be concerned about your autograph right now. But he tells them they're going to need he who remains or miss minutes to reset the device. Brad brings Loki and Mobius to the right timeline. Broxton, Oklahoma, 1982. And Loki and Sylvie see each other for the first time. She's working at McDonald's. And I love he walks up to her, and for a long time they pause. They don't know what to say to each other, especially based on what happened the last time they were together. She's like, listen, are you going to order or get out of here? Because I'm working a shift right here. And that cracked me up. I was like, I don't think he's going to order McDonald's. Although, I mean, he's experienced McDonald's. He's been to New York. Maybe he is a quarter pounder with cheese kind of guy.
I would love to know how much different McDonald's tasted in the 80s compared to now. I guarantee the 80s must have been so good, but they didn't have like trans fat laws and get crazy. The menu
GMO, whatever the hell GMO is.
I don't know what it is either.
I don't know. MSG, no MSG, no Madison Square Garden. I've always seen that on the side of trucks.
And there's only like 6 things on the menu back then too, so they were just like the fucking McNuggets are new, right? So I would love to be able to go back in time and try some McDonald's from back then. I love she tried some McDonald's and loved it so much she got a job there. Incredible shit out of her. This is gonna come across as a hot take, but I'm calling it now. I'm calling my shot. October 12th, 10:43 p.m. Eastern time. Obi and Casey are going to bang, bang, bangity bang, 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 bangity bang. What do you think about that one?
I could see it. I didn't think that at all. That thought never even crossed my mind. It wasn't even the same zip code as my brain, but I could see it.
There was a lot of love in those eyes. That's all I'm going to say.
Two kind of like weird brains too. I think they could be linked. Yeah. No, I don't hate that theory. Also, I love somebody in the chat, Quinn Johnson said, why the hell is Robbie in a suit? I'm dressed as Loki. Come on, look, you can't tell. I'm not as devilishly handsome as Tom Hiddleston, who we learned last week landed Taylor Swift for a little bit of time.
Getaway Car is the song that was written about him. Look, I actually learned that. That's stuck in the head thanks to Gia, who will be back again. She has her Phillies game tonight. It's still 3-1 fighting Phils right now in the game.
Absolutely. We'll get
and back by the way, a lot of people said this too about Kang, the Kang bang, where it's just everyone, all the Kangs fucking. And I honestly, I think Obi and Casey might be joining in the Kang bang.
The Kang bang is such a good. We're going to use that as a hashtag later in the season when Kang actually shows up. That's a real good one. I can't believe we didn't think of that phrase. Our two friggin' minds.
I am slowing down, man. My fastball's clocking at 84. If Kang bang just went right under my radar.
Let's tell the people about Celebrity Mint real quick. Celebrity Mint is the first venture of its kind, offering the first ever legal tender trading coins, precious metal coins reimagined as trading cards, featuring sports luminaries and influential figures, bringing to market unique memorabilia with intrinsic value as a bonus. They fuse sports collectibles with the prestige of coin collecting to bring new collectors to the table, offering collectors the chance to start or bolster their collection. They've got a bunch of athletes that we can actually talk about now on their first line. So the initial Legend series, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, Ric Flair, and the all-time MLB hit leader, Pete Rose. That's right. Pete Rose. You can get his exclusive Celebrity Mint stuff on eBay. They're launching on October 14th at New York Comic Con. So they'll be doing an auction on eBay Live on the eBay app. If you're going to be at New York Comic Con, you'll have the chance to meet the Nature Boy himself, Ric Flair. Just head over to the eBay booth, enter their contest. You get a chance to win $2,500. And Celebrity Mint on follow Celebrity Mint on Instagram, Twitter, everything at the Celebrity Mint, or visit Comic-Con on the 14th. They're going to launch in the eBay app, like I said, with Nature Boy Ric Flair. You would be a fool not to go at least enter yourself in their contest if you're going to be at New York Comic-Con. It could be a free $2,500 right in your pocket. And maybe you'll meet Ric Flair too. Woo!
Woo! Threw the fours up. You know, we saw the Kerry Von Erich trailer.
Oh my God, that looks good. That looks so awesome. I mean, it's going to be so depressing if you know anything about the Von Erich family. If you don't, you could just go on their Wikipedia page. Steve Romano, one of our favorite camera guys at Barstool, came out to me today and he said, "Hey, I saw the trailer for that. I kind of knew a little bit about them. I knew their story was tragic." It's like, I went on Wikipedia. That ain't going to be a fun movie, is it? I was like, oh, no, it ain't. It's releasing on like Christmas too, which I don't know who made that call. It's crazy. It's going to depress everyone, but I can't wait.
I don't love that that's going to be the case. I didn't realize. But so I quote tweeted, I was like, this is going to rule. And I was like, I know I'm going to get a wrestling fan who's like, do you even know how bad all the stuff that happens in this? And I didn't. Okay. I was very happy for that because I'm like, listen, I know how it is, but you play Tom Sawyer in the background of a fucking trailer that looks awesome that I kind of know about everything that's going on. So I got really hyped. And I think the Nature Boy shows up in that. That's what got it in my head. You see Ric Flair in the ring, which, by the way, the coin, the little Ric Flair coin, it's cool as shit. I'm going to get that. And Tyson, I got to get the Tyson one too.
Yeah.
Because Mike Tyson was my fucking guy growing up until all the problematic shit. Before that, though, my guy.
As a boxer, yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
As a
also,
boxer.
He's got one of the best clips of the year this year. The clip of Dana White on his podcast where Dana's like, yeah, I used to listen to all the 80s rap, fucking Salt and Pepper, Run DMC, Beastie Boys. Mike Tyson just goes, you give love a bad name. Dana's like, that's Bon Jovi. Mike Tyson's just so high in his own world, you know. Hot boxing with Mike Tyson.
I would love to just be able to like being John Malkovich, Mike Tyson during the 80s and just what his life was like. Everyone was Bon Jovi in his mind probably back then.
Back to Loki. We've had some fun tangents on this episode.
By the way, John Hobbs has it perfect. That McDonald's looks so nice. It was bricked up. It was. I wish it had a play place in it because a lot of the McDonald's back in the day had those little play places where the kids could run around like crazy. And it is just kind of nice. My McDonald's has changed like setups like 3 times in the last 5 years. Like they've completely changed the layouts of them. And I go with the kids like probably whenever they're good, once every 2 weeks or so, we get some Happy Meals. So man, I wish there was a play place. Just let them run that energy out. Did you have a play place growing up by you?
I was never allowed to go in the play place. We had them, but my mom was like, germs, absolutely not. I wasn't even allowed to play with the little things in the doctor's office with the, you move the blocks. Never allowed to touch them.
The little beads, like, and I in my head, it was always a roller coaster. Is that what everyone thinks of them as a roller coaster, right?
I was picturing that as I was watching other kids play with them. But, you know, as an adult looking back, I'm like, yeah, I don't want my kids touching those things.
You're in the doctor's office. Everyone's already, if you're there to get sick, what's the difference? Rob, you can't do it. You're going to get sick. You know, you don't like having those sniffles.
Rob, you could bring your own action figures. You could bring a couple Batman figures. You could bring Star Wars if you want. You can't bring the lightsabers because they're too tiny and you'll lose them for sure. But yeah,
was for sure one of her things, or
for sure.
Oh, that's incredible! I love one of Mama Fox. Fox facts, Mama Fox facts.
So they go talk on Sylvie's break. She's driving a Ford pickup truck. She's become the most American of all time. She's in Oklahoma working at McDonald's driving a Ford pickup truck. As soon as she laid down on the hood of that, or I guess that was later in the episode, she like pops open the pickup truck, the back end of it. I was like, look at Sylvie, unreal. I don't know where she got that. She's loving our culture, I guess. She tried a cheeseburger, and all of a sudden she's like, I love the General Lee and Dukes of Hazzard.
Eats one McDonald's cheeseburger. That should be the meme. And it's like her as like crazy Sylvie, and then eats one McDonald's cheeseburger. And then it's Ford pickup working at McDonald's. I thought she was smoking a bowl listening to Janis Joplin at the end too. I'm like, oh, we got our hooks in her, baby. Welcome to the red, white, and blue Sylvie in Oklahoma. And by the way, I noticed that the other truck, I think it was a different pickup truck earlier in the episode in that parking lot, I'm pretty sure Ford just gave Disney a shitload of money to be the sponsor, even if it's an old school ad, because I feel like we've seen multiple Fords so far.
Also, if McDonald's gave them a ton of money to work McDonald's into the season, it was very well done because it didn't feel like it was just like a cheap ad at all. It kind of felt like it worked with the storyline. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think we had an email from Denver. They had a thing in Brooklyn where they dressed up in McDonald's to old school. I couldn't go that day. I had stuff. I had to watch the kids here, and I was supposed to have another event, a Barstool event, but I would have loved to have done that, man. That would have been
Did you
awesome.
see the bubble that just popped up on your head? What was that?
What?
Bro, there was a bubble with a thumbs up that just popped up above your head like it was a light bulb. The people watching on YouTube definitely saw that. It was freaky.
What?
I don't know how that happened, where it came from. It was an animated bubble with a thumbs up.
What in the world is going on right now, Bob? Is like Sylvie here fucking with me? Is Loki doing some mischief play on my ass right now?
Quite possible. I've never seen that on the program we used to record this before. That was very, very strange. So he tells her all about the time skipping, and he says, I saw you in the future in the TVA. Like, everything's going wrong in the TVA, but why were you there? I need to know why you were there. And she refuses to believe it. He's like, you can enchant me and see what I saw. But she's like, no. He kind of states his case for the TVA, where he's like, they might be the last line of defense for the universe at this point. I know you don't like him, but we have the information and we can stop this guy Kang, or at least we can try. Mobius and Brad, meanwhile, are inside in the McDonald's having a very funny exchange about Zaniac, where Mobius wants to know about it and he doesn't want to completely tell him, but he tells him a little. He's like, elevated thriller. It's a very nice show like that and whatnot. And Mobius realizes that Brad's been a bit jumpy the whole time. He's like, why have you wanted to leave? Why are you just wanting to get back to your universe? Is something about to go bad here? And the tension of that was awesome. It reminded me of Wind River. Why are you flanking me? That great scene. And they go outside. Sylvie enchants Brad. She sees the TVA bombing branches. And then B-15, we see at the TVA, she's like, holy shit, they're killing millions of people right now. And you see the visual of the branches just dropping off the TV screen one by one. General Dox is leading the charge. She was the one that was being a little weird with Hunter X5 last week, where she's the one from Game of Thrones that, breastfeeding the kid that's like 10 years old. Very, very crazy kind of. It reminded me of when they're bombing the Sacred Timeline last season. Kind of frantic,
Yeah, it's fucked up too. Like, getting doxxed used to mean someone revealed everything about your life. And now in this, getting doxxed means your entire life just gets wiped off the map once and for all. So that was completely fucked. And I was also mad that I wanted the episode to end and then we could talk about it. Cause I swear to God, I was like, Loki has told us multiple times, or Sylvie has told us even, that she likes hanging in these very dangerous apocalyptic places. And I said, some shit's about to go down. She's clearly on this branch because she wants to be there. And that's just the kind of aura she has about her. And I was just, the fact he was so jumpy, I'm like, I'm calling it now. Something crazy is about to go down. And of course, it happened there. So I'm giving myself one basement point for having the thought in my head, even though I didn't say it on the podcast because I didn't have a chance to before the end of the episode.
Absolutely. Points. By the way, Nick Hamilton, shout out Nick Hammy, has shared the screenshot of this bubble with a thumbs up. I wasn't lying. What is that?
I do not know. That's
freaking
me out, man.
Over 300 episodes of this podcast. Never has that happened before. That's a reason to go watch the YouTube video if you're listening on the podcast feed right now. Oh, Frankie, shout out Frankie Greco in the chat. He says it's an iOS update. There's like 6 gestures you can do. So at some point you must have hit something.
I don't even know. I have the phone on
gestures.
We got gestures popping up. Fucking gestures by Core Gestures. What
the new god of mischief, Clem.
I honestly would have said you were on drugs if there was no actual. I mean, you might be on drugs regardless, but I would have been even like harder drugs than I would have said.
Yeah, no, not currently, but UFC and USADA just ended their relationship, so now I'm free to do steroids. Might get roided up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Frankie said to throw up a heart sign. Do I just make it with my hand and then a fucking heart's gonna? What the fuck?
What the fuck? Literally that. Oh my God.
What is going on?
You got powers. We just found out you got powers.
Do I do thumbs up here? This is good as
Nick
hell.
Hamilton said he heard it happens if you like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe and see what kind of shit I can get, what kind of magic it can make. I am Loki. I am
Dude,
Loki.
that was mind-blowing. That was one of the most shocking moments in the history of this podcast.
Frankie, tell me what are the powers I have right now. I can make hearts. That's all I know how to do is heart power. I feel like the Captain Planet
You got
guy.
it back?
Oh, I
there
got
it
it back, Bob.
Clem when he sees Miles Morales' mom.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Mrs. Morales, Senorita Morales.
Oh, hit a single hand peace sign.
Oh,
Unreal. You got balloons popping up behind you. This has got to be the worst audio of all time on the podcast feed, but we are entertained like little kids right now.
This is
Double
awesome.
thumbs up. Oh, fireworks.
You guys
This is
have
awesome.
you guys have to subscribe to the YouTube. Just
Man,
to
if you're
see
not
this, man.
subscribing for this should hit us to 50K tomorrow morning. We're doing special effects on the show that we basically hired ILM to produce this episode.
Sam said it best here. Frankie Greco, Basement Boy of the Week, for teaching me about the Loki powers I have. Congrats,
No
you were
doubt.
the Basement Boy of the Week.
All right. Loki and Sylvie start to fight off the TVA agents with Mobius. They're using time sticks. They're throwing time sticks at these guys. They combine powers at one point. She's like, don't think about it. They hold hands and just wipe these guys off with energy. Unreal tag team, unreal duo. And once they wipe them all out, they head back to the TVA. And again, you see branches just dropping left and right to the point where there's barely any left. Very crazy scene. Cool the way they handled the action scene. It wasn't a very long action scene. It wasn't over choreographed. It was just like a straight up action movie fight scene.
Yeah.
To put it very simply.
It was like Secret Invasion, right? When they had that Call of Duty scene that just popped out of nowhere. I had to bring us back down. I'm going to put more hearts back in the world after that.
Oh, try a thumbs down. He said try a thumbs down for Secret Invasion.
Yeah, there we go. Let's try a thumbs down. Bum, bum, bum,
Anything?
Bum. No, nothing. That's basically Secret Invasion. Nothing happened in Secret Invasion.
Yeah, underwhelming, just like that. Yeah. One more ad. We got to tell the people about C4. Listen, if you're up late watching the show right now, 11 p.m. on the East Coast, and you want to stay up a little longer, hit some C4 Ultimate Energy. Unleash your inner WWE superstar, because WWE and C4 Energy have teamed up to provide the ultimate undisputed energy, packing a powerful punch of 300 milligrams of caffeine in delicious WWE-inspired flavors like Ruthless Raspberry, Berry Powerbomb. C4 Ultimate Energy is the preferred choice of supercharged energy for WWE superstars like Seth freaking Rollins, one of the all-time greats. He's the champ right now, with 0 sugar and 300 milligrams of caffeine that'll leave you feeling larger than life. It's time to step into the ring with C4 Ultimate Energy in WWE. Grab the new C4 Ultimate Energy WWE flavors at GNC online or find them near you at findc4.com. So I've actually got this stuff over here. And it's not only the energy drink, it's also the pre-workout. If you're looking to get a little pump on, if you're looking to get a little strong, ultimate pre-workout as well. And this one is the Ultimate Nectarine Guava Knockout, which sounds delicious. Pre-workout, sneaky. I've had some in my past. Don't get me wrong. I've been to the gym once or twice in my life. I've had some that are delicious, and this is top of the line. So get yourself some C4 now. Findc4.com.
C4 WWE logo, guava. I mean, it's a match made in heaven right there.
There you go. And to end the episode, Sylvie tells Loki that the TVA is the problem. She leaves. She says she's going home. Casey gets a hit on Renslayer's temp pad. Finally, first time this season that they've got a little bit of a track on them. And then Sylvie's chilling on the roof of her truck. We cut to her. Coworker checks in on her. Seems like he's a nice guy, nice kid. And she kind of checks in on him back where she's like, is your mom coming to pick you up? He's like, yeah, I'll be fine. He's kind of got like a nervous laugh in his voice, like, I'll be fine, ma'am. And she, at the end, has this glowing disc. You said you thought she was smoking a bowl. What was this disc, though? Because I certainly didn't recognize it. Did anyone in the chat recognize it? I don't know.
Yeah, it seemed like some sort of, I don't.
Was this from last season? Were we supposed to remember this? It felt like a tease at the end of this episode, so I thought it was something new.
Did they have like the little phones? And didn't Loki have like one hidden? Wasn't there something like that? Am I remembering that correctly?
He did have a hidden thing.
This is it's a Loki move. She's a Loki. This is a Loki move. You have some sort of thing.
Nick Hamilton. This is Kang's time thing.
Ah, there we go. Nicky Hams, my guy.
Always coming in clutch. If it's Kang's time thing, then maybe she can jump to the future to see what Loki was talking about. It's the temp pad from He Who Remains. Yes, they showed the disc in the end credits. I didn't see the end credits. So I wasn't a post-credits scene, I guess. It was just in the credits.
Yeah, the end credits I have to like do a quick run through every single time now because the music's very good usually, and it does kind of like hammer home the stuff. I saw the key lime pie before I turned it off, and you told me there were no end credits in it. Thank God for the goddamn chat. Chat has saved us today. Yeah. We learned new things we could do with our computers, and they're explaining this shit to us as we're going on the fly. The disc in the end credits. Okay.
You can tell by the marking.
He Who Remains is temp pad. So that makes sense. And we know Renslayer was talking to that sus-ass bitch Miss Minutes, who I'm just gonna let my guy OB down gently now. Miss Minutes ain't helping y'all for fucking shit.
No,
she'll probably fucking slit your throat before she helps. Yeah, she's a fucking bitch. When's the last time you trusted a clock? When's the last time you trusted a clock? Think about it.
Honestly, it was probably when it was around the neck of Flavor Flav, but before that, no idea.
That's true. That's true. And
certainly lost all trust for clocks watching Stranger Things.
Yeah, exactly.
Grandfather clocks, those are fucked up. Well, I'll never have a grandfather clock ever. Not even in a fire.
Not even in a fire.
Also, they say in the chat, Quinn Johnson and Trevor D have said it is used in the final episode in episode 6. So it's probably the temp pad that got her to Broxton, Oklahoma, or opened up that door, I would imagine. Maybe she's just thinking about, hey, maybe what Loki said is right. Maybe I do got to get out of here.
All right, I'm just going to say it. I think I've said it in the past. I had to have. I feel like Sylvie's also like a problem, and I'm kind of like gonna hate her by the end of this season. I feel like I hated her at the end of last season, and why did you murder? I understand why she murdered him. She had a really rough childhood or life or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But she's responsible for like those billions of people dying, right?
In a way, yeah. What she did led to that, so yeah.
So the character who's at B-15 was like, those are millions of people dying, and she was kind of crestfallen. We get that reaction a lot these days, I find, in shows. I also need the dude to really just hammer it home and be like shook. I need that as well. Instead of those are millions of people. Just have a guy who's just fucking like watching a legitimate fucking like horrific thing.
Guy has a seizure on the chair and like falls out of his chair. Yeah. Something like that.
A little slapstick comedy could go a long way as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. Also, I want to mention before we wrap this up, I love the slight changes to Loki and Sylvie's outfits in season 1, season 2. They obviously gave Sylvie new hair. That's very like noticeable. They gave her bangs, kind of longer hair, but she's now rocking like a longer trench coat over her outfit, and her outfit's a little more battle damaged, battle worn. And Loki wearing a jacket with just a little bit of a bigger collar on it, a little Bane style, not that big, but a little more in that style. Very, very good changes that the costume department made, where it's unique. You could see a picture of them from season 2 and know it's from season 2 right away. Where a lot of these shows, I feel like if you see an episode or a picture from like each episode in season 1, he's wearing the same thing in most of the episodes. So it's hard to tell apart. I like that. So it's a good continuity change. Yeah.
Yep.
And Loki, again, it's just across the board. It feels better than everything else at Marvel right now.
Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah. And again, even this so I like this episode. I like the series so far. And it's different. I think in terms of like if you're going like round by round right now, I have Gen V above it though right now. And that's just it's just more my speed, I guess.
I'm only 2 into Gen V right now. But it's, the same level as the boys so far, which is very impressive to hit that mark. But the first 2 episodes were like really, really fucking good. I think I probably lean Loki just because I have more of a connection to this universe, and the fact that they're actually treating it with care in this show. I'm like, thank the fucking Lord that this is the diamond shining in the rough. But
It's close. It's really close. I mean, I think we've also mentioned like Peacemaker and The Boys are the best two superhero things going on TV right now. Gen V is very close to The Boys. Loki's the only Marvel show that can come close to them.
Yeah, exactly. And Loki's a different show in a different universe that is meant to do a different thing. So it is a little apples to oranges, I think. So
Yeah.
they have to tie in all the shit that's coming with Kang, all the shit they have with Kang. I like my guy Trevor here said he thinks we end it right back up where we were at the end of season 1. We're at the end of time. I would love after all this, we're just like, well, we're back a fucking year then.
We might. It might be time as a
back.
flat circle type thing.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone for tuning in live. If you did tune in live, if you're watching after the fact, thank you as well. If you're listening on the podcast feed, you got to watch this YouTube video for the special effects we threw into this.
We
episode.
love you guys.
A little, oh, there it is. Hit us with a thumbs up too. I want to see the fireworks again. I love that. You doing the double thumbs up, it's a bit Trump-esque, you doing it like that, but
I could have said Stu Finer, but right,
true, Finer.
45 out there.
The hashtag for this week, hashtag Clem Lime Pie. I love that hashtag. And we will be back next week, I think, with a more regular pre-recorded episode, unless people really love this. If you need us to do it live, maybe we will come back live. Tell us in the comments what you would like us to do in the future. But we'll be back with Gia, and we'll get a third panelist on to talk about Loki Season 2. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. We will talk to you next week.